Unit 16, Gateway. 1 to 2. Industrial capitalism not only created work, it also created leisure in the modern sense of the term. This might seem surprising, for the early cotton masters wanted to keep their machinery running as long as possible and forced their employees to work very long hours. However, by requiring continuous work during work hours and ruling out non-work activity, employers had separated out leisure from work. Some did this quite explicitly by creating distinct holiday periods when factories were shut down, because it was better to do this than have work disrupted by the casual taking of days off. Leisure as a distinct non-work time, whether in the form of the holiday, weekend, or evening, was a result of the disciplined and bounded work time created by capitalist production. Workers then wanted more leisure, and leisure time was enlarged by union campaigns, which first started in the cotton industry, and eventually new laws were passed that limited the hours of work and gave workers holiday entitlements. Leisure was also the creation of capitalism in another sense, through the commercialization of leisure. This no longer meant participation in traditional sports and pastimes. Workers began to pay for leisure activities organized by capitalist enterprises. Mass travel to spectator sports, especially football and horse racing, where people could be charged for entry, was now possible. The importance of this can hardly be exaggerated, for whole new industries were emerging to exploit and develop the leisure market, which was to become a huge source of consumer demand, employment, and profit. Exercise 1 to 2. Once you have defined what success looks like for you and have begun to design it, next comes the work. There's no substitute for hard work. We all have to roll up our sleeves and take the stairs to get to that floor we're going after. The Roman philosopher Seneca once said, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. The preparation is the work, and the opportunity will find us when we are truly ready to work and make it ours." While some get caught up in wishful thinking, visualizations, and acting as if they already have it, the one thing that glues the whole process together is putting in the elbow grease. A gardener can't just wish for a beautiful garden and one suddenly appears. She has to choose the seed, pick the place, clear the ground, dig the holes, plant the seed, water it, add mulch, and repeat these steps over and over again if she wants to experience that beautiful, healthy garden in the flesh. Similarly, if you want to live a full, adventurous, abundant, joy-filled, and loving life, it's going to take work. Trust that there will be setbacks and temporary bumps along the journey, but they're nature's way of strengthening us to be ready for what it is we're working toward. Exercise 3 to 4. Our tendency to overlook habit can be explained by one aspect of habit itself, the way in which familiarity and repetition dull our senses. Marcel Proust describes habit as a heavy curtain, which conceals from us almost the whole universe and prevents us from knowing ourselves. Not only this, habit cuts off from things which we have witnessed a number of times, the root of profound impression and of thought which gives them their real meaning. Proust realized that an artist has to draw back or tear open this curtain of habit, so that the most familiar features of our world become visible, meaningful, and cause for wonder. But this is also the philosopher's task. Although it is often said, quoting Plato or Aristotle, that philosophy begins with wonder, the wondering state of mind is only reached by first penetrating the heavy curtain of habit. So habit is a uniquely philosophical issue, and it is also an important and profound feature of ordinary life. A few European philosophers have gone so far as to claim, like many teachers in the Buddhist tradition, that habitat provides an answer to the problem of the self, that our continuing identity through time and change is produced by the tenacity of habit. If this is true, and perhaps even if it is not quite true, then habit's ambiguity and uncertainty belong to the mystery of human selfhood. The question of habit may be inseparable from our hardest, deepest, most insistent question. Who are we? Who am I? Exercise 5-6. Children love to please their parents. They constantly seek attention, affirmation, and acceptance. The little boy who is not satisfied with merely riding his bicycle for his mom shows off by riding past the front yard with both hands in the air. Look, Mom, no hands. One more achievement, one more accomplishment, and still another opportunity to impress a significant other. The burden to please or impress others can be overwhelming. It can cause us to mortgage our lives to the limit and compromise our self-worth in the process. People-pleasing is the opposite of the self-sabotaging behavior coming from the thought that others should make you happy. If you believe that your job in life is to make others happy, or at least to impress them, you suffer from the attitudes and behaviors of always trying to please others. If at first you do not accomplish this, you try longer and harder. Then if you get unsatisfactory responses, you become frustrated and even depressed. You shoulder the negative emotions of others, as if you are able to flip the inner switch that is under their control. The inability to control the attitudes and behaviors of others is enough to drive a people-pleaser insane. The need to make people happy appears selfless, but it destines a person to a life filled with anxiety and disappointment. Exercise 7-8. Because plants are such marvelously adaptable creatures, they can maximize their ability to survive and thrive in almost any condition. Since they must make their own food, which requires light during photosynthesis, they must have some sort of mechanism to collect and trap the light they need, i.e., they need solar collectors. When man-made solar collectors are positioned on the roofs of buildings, they are positioned such that they face the direction from which they can collect the most light possible. Usually, they are positioned facing south, so that they can collect light all day long as the sun moves from east to west across the south sky. The positions are usually fixed. Elaborate systems may be electronically controlled to move with the sun facing southeast in morning hours and slowly moving to face southwest as the day progresses. Grana in plant cells move much like the electronically controlled solar panels, orienting themselves to maximize light collection in shady areas and to minimize light collection in bright sunny areas. Leaves of trees which are growing on the outermost branches where light is abundant have a morphology designed to lessen the intensity and have grana in vertical stacks. On the other hand, interior leaves which receive only filtered light may have grana which are in horizontal stacks.